Life is all about choices. Some are small and easy, like deciding what to eat for breakfast. But then there are the big decisions, the ones that change the course of your life. This story is about one of those moments, a decision that tested everything I thought I knew about love, sacrifice, and strength. It all began a few years ago, on a rainy afternoon when the skies seemed to weep endlessly. Raindrops danced on the pavement, glistening like diamonds as I rushed to find shelter. In the middle of that storm, I met her, Emma. She was like a ray of sunshine breaking through the clouds, her laughter ringing like a bell amid the downpour. From the moment I saw her, I knew she was different. There was an energy about her that pulled me in like nothing I had ever felt before. Our connection was immediate. We fell into each other's lives effortlessly, sharing late-night conversations that stretched into dawn, laughter that filled every quiet moment, and silly inside jokes that only we understood. Emma had a way of making the world feel brighter, even on the darkest days. Everything felt perfect until life threw its first curveball. Emma got a job offer, a huge one. It was the kind of opportunity people dream about, something that could change her career entirely. The catch? It was in another city, hundreds of miles away. I saw the excitement in her eyes, but I also noticed the fear lurking beneath the surface. We both knew what this could mean for us. Long distance was no joke, and we weren't naive. We had seen how distance could wear down even the strongest relationships. But we loved each other, and we were determined to make it work. So, she took the job, and we prepared ourselves for the challenges ahead. We made promises to communicate daily, visit each other as often as possible, and never lose sight of what we had built together. At first, it wasn't too bad. We talked late into the night, sent each other sweet texts, and planned visits filled with joy and laughter. I cherished every moment we spent together, feeling the warmth of her hugs long after I left her apartment. But then, one evening, after weeks of separation, everything changed. Emma missed our usual call. When she finally texted back hours later, saying, "Sorry, work was crazy. Can we talk tomorrow?" I brushed it off, thinking she was just busy, but the pattern continued, and I could feel a growing distance between us. Weeks turned into months, and I began to realize we were drifting apart. The excitement in her texts faded, replaced by brief, hurried responses. I started to wonder if I was losing her. The anxiety gripped my heart, and I knew I needed to see her. After driving through a storm, the rain pelting against my windshield, I finally arrived at her apartment, soaking wet. As I walked through the door, her embrace felt distant, and her smile didn't reach her eyes. We sat down for dinner, but the air was thick with tension. I could sense something was off, and my frustration bubbled over. "You're always too busy. Is this job more important than us?" I blurted out, my voice shaking. Emma's face hardened. "You think this is easy for me? I've sacrificed so much for us." The argument escalated quickly, voices raised, accusations thrown. "Maybe we're not meant to survive this," I said bitterly, the words tasting like poison in my mouth. Silence fell as I stormed out into the rain, my heart pounding with fear and anger. Was this the end of us? If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more inspiring tales. Remember, every choice you make shapes your journey, just like the one Emma and I faced. But something inside me refused to let go. I couldn't leave it like this. I took a deep breath and went back inside. This time, we really talked. We laid out our fears, frustrations, and dreams, not just as lovers, but as partners facing an uphill battle. In that moment, we made a choice. We chose to fight for each other. Love isn't about giving up when things get hard. It's about standing by someone's side, no matter what. Of course, life wasn't done testing us, as if the long-distance struggle wasn't enough. Something even more complicated entered the picture: our families. Emma came from a close-knit family, deeply rooted in traditions. They were not thrilled about her being so far from home, and they certainly were not thrilled about me. I'll never forget the first time I met her mother. She looked at me like she was sizing me up, deciding whether I was good enough for her daughter. It was clear she didn't think I was. Every visit brought subtle comments about Emma's future. Are you sure he's the right one for you? And what about your career back home? Each dinner felt like walking into a lion's den, and I could sense the tension building with every encounter. Emma's family wanted her back in their hometown, and I became the target of their frustrations. One evening, after yet another tense dinner with her parents, Emma broke down. She was torn between the life she wanted with me and the expectations her family had placed on her. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered, "I don't know what to do. I love you, but they want me back home." Seeing her like that hurt, and I knew I couldn't let her carry the burden alone. We came up with a plan. Together, we decided to show her family that we were serious about making this work. We visited them again, not just as a couple, but as partners ready to face the challenge. It felt like walking into a storm. At dinner, her mother finally said what had been on her mind. "Emma, don't you think it's time to come back home? This relationship is holding you back." The room went silent. I watched Emma closely, seeing the conflict in her eyes, her family versus us. "Mom," she began, her voice shaking, "this is my life, and I'm choosing it. I'm choosing him." Her mother's expression hardened, and she left the table without a word. Emma's eyes filled with tears, but she held my hand tight, a symbol of our unity. It wasn't the victory we had hoped for, but it was a start. Slowly, things began to change. Over time, her family started to see what we saw in each other, a love worth fighting for. As for the distance, we found a way through that too. After months of juggling our separate lives, Emma made a decision that would change everything. She turned down a promotion that would have kept her away for another few years. She moved back, not because she was giving up on her career, but because we realized something important: success and love don't have to be at odds. Sometimes the greatest success is building a life with the person you love. Looking back now, I see that every argument, every doubt, and every moment of tension with her family weren't signs we were failing. They were the battles that made us stronger. Love isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about facing it together. It's about choosing each other every single day, even when it's hard. Emma and I, we are still together. The road wasn't easy, and there were times it felt like everything was working against us. But we made it through because we chose each other again and again. In the end, that's what love really is: choosing each other even when everything else tries to pull you apart. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story about love, sacrifice, and the choices we make, hit that like button and subscribe for more inspiring tales. Now, I want to hear from you. What tough choices have you faced in your relationships? Leave a comment below, sharing your own experiences with love and choices. Remember, every choice shapes your journey, so choose love and fight for it every day. See you next time.